Have you heard about the cold summer travel trend? It's about going to cooler destinations this summer, and I have 5 coming right up. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Jeffrey Gard. This is The Whole Traveler. Let's get into it. 5 cold summer destinations. There was an article recently in the Wall Street Journal that was highlighting this trend about going to colder spots where it's cooler during the summer because, well, hello, global warming. Global warming has made places everywhere a little bit hotter, and especially the trendy parts of summer, like the south of France, the Mediterranean. It has become so impossible to be there during the summer because of how scorching hell of earth it is. Folks, according to the Wall Street Journal article, are going to places like Scandinavia. So Iceland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland, Faroe Islands, where the temperatures are nice and cool. So you're dealing with 60s, 70s, and 80s for summer weather there. And a lot of people are loving it. The only reason why I'm choosing 5 different destinations than those is because I think the Wall Street Journal article has already talked enough about it, but also they're not as affordable as other places that you can go. The kroner is very expensive against the dollar. Inflation has hit all of those places. It's a worldwide phenomena. If you love the culture, obviously go and enjoy Scandinavian culture. It's an incredible culture, incredible countries that are part of that culture. And there's a lot to see and a lot to do. But if you're looking for other alternatives, I have 5 destinations for you. And the very first one that I'm going to recommend is Quebec City. That is the capital of Quebec. It is the most European of all of the American cities in the Americas. It is beautiful. It has showcases architecture that is just exquisite. You feel like you're in a European city. When you go to the center of the city, you can walk around. There's cobblestone streets, historic buildings. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place to go and see. They obviously use the Canadian dollar, which is in your favor as an American. And so you will find a lot of bargains, a lot of deals. The restaurants are quite good and they're everywhere in the city center. And one of the things I love about summer in Canada, especially Quebec, is that there seems to be a festival going on every single week. So at night, you have concerts and festivals and plays and performances. The city is alive during the summer. They've been cooped up for the rest of the year, right? And so June, July, and August, they're ready to party. And the folks in Quebec City are just incredibly kind. And I'm completely biased because Quebec is one of my all-time favorite places, but I cannot recommend Quebec City enough. There's plenty to do there. There's beautiful museums. There's a state capitol, the provincial capitol building. It's modeled after the Louvre in Paris, and you can walk in there and tour the museums they have. It's all free. You can see the chambers where legislative debates happen. It's just incredible. And they also have nature too, all raw nature surrounding. You have the river, the St. Lawrence River, you have waterfalls, you have forests that you can go into if that's your thing. It's a really incredible place to go. Number 2, so continuing with the theme of La Française, I recommend Belgium, and for number 3, I recommend the Netherlands. Specifically with Belgium, obviously the place that you're gonna fly into is Brussels. I think Brussels is a great place to explore for like a day or 2, but then I highly recommend going to Ghent. Ghent is one of these, again, beautiful kind of medieval little cities that is off the radar. Most people go to Brugge, which is also equally beautiful. But here's the thing, you can do Brugge, Ghent, and Brussels all within a 2, 3, 4 day period. These are all day trips. Belgium is connected by a light rail and rail system that makes going to all of these places super easy and affordable. And that's what I love. So Belgium is in mainland Europe, but it's kind of towards the north, so it stays very cool during the summer. Of course, you have heat waves like everywhere else, but when we were there in July, we had a spectacular time. We absolutely loved it. It was cool. We needed windbreakers at night, And we went on canal rides. We got to see the old medieval buildings. We went into a medieval castle in Ghent. The Belgian people are a lot like the Quebecois. They're really laid back. They're really easygoing. They're not like the French. I love the French, but they're a lot more easygoing. If you fly into Brussels, you can take trains all the way into the Netherlands, and I recommend The Hague. The Hague is one of Netherlands' second cities. It's the capital of the Netherlands, and it's also connected to the beach. So you have access to the beach from The Hague. The Hague has world-class museums. If you want to see a girl with a pearl earring, they have that at The Hague, at the museum. And they have a lot of Vermeers actually at this museum, quite a few. And you can really take in the history. We stayed at the Indigo Hotel in The Hague, and it was right next door to the Royal Palace. So you can just literally walk up and see the Royal Palace is right there, and it's quite beautiful. And again, just like Ghent, The Hague is also compressed at the city center, so it's immensely walkable. You can walk the cobblestone streets, do some shopping, do some eating at restaurants. It's really a beautiful place. There's a nice wind that comes in that cools everything down. So you're talking about the mild 70s in The Hague. You can do canal rides, boat rides. You can also do bike ride tours, which I highly recommend. It'll take you throughout the city so that you can get familiar with it. But there's a lot to do in The Hague. And if you wanted to do day trips, I recommend going to Delft. Delft is, again, this other little tiny city that has huge history to it. It's where Vermeer lived. It's where also Fabricius, who was Vermeer's mentor, lived. And so you can really delve into the history of that city. It's quite incredible. They also have the Delft factory there where they make the porcelain. And so you can do a tour of the porcelain factory and buy yourself some authentic Delft porcelain pottery, which is also an incredible experience. And again, it's like a 15-20 minute light rail ride from The Hague. You can also alternatively go to Amsterdam and do a day trip in Amsterdam. And what I love about The Hague is that the hotel prices are significantly cheaper than in Amsterdam. And you're not dealing with all the mad crush crowds that, are in Amsterdam. So The Hague is number 3. So number 4 is going to sound a little counterintuitive, but stay with me. Number 4 is Mexico City. And I know your reaction is like, wait, what? Mexico City? Mexico's hot. And yes, that's true for most of Mexico, but not Mexico City. Mexico City is one of the most geographically gifted cities in all of Earth. Because of its elevation and because it's near the equator, it has been blessed with daily temperatures of 75 degrees all year round and 12 hours of sunlight every single day. In the morning, you'll probably need a windbreaker because it does get a little chilly. And towards the night, you might also need a windbreaker because it does, again, once the sun goes down, it gets a little chilly. But it is the most perfect and pleasant weather that you can experience in anywhere on Earth. I just love it being in and around 75 degrees. It's perfect, perfect, perfect. And with Mexico City, there's so much to do. It is the epicenter of all things Mexican. Mexico is an ancient civilization, whether you're talking about the Olmecs, the Toltecs, the Mayans, the Mexicas, Toltecs, Olmecs, Mayans, Mexicas, yeah. It has millennia of ancient cultures and civilizations that have developed this incredible culture that is reflective in the food, in the textiles, and the designs to really make Mexico City this incredibly unique place on Earth. I cannot recommend it enough. There's fantastic restaurants, there's world-class museums. It is perfectly safe. It's safer than most American cities. And you can get around through Ubers, and of course, it's on the peso. Things have gotten a little expensive in Mexico, but I think as an American, you'll still find incredible deals. And of course, there's tons of shopping to do, a lot of unique mom and pop Mexican stores that have one-of-a-kind garments and designs of furniture and other things that you might be interested in. So it's a really, really great place to go if you're looking for a cool summer destination and you want sunshine, but you want it to be like in the 70s, Mexico City is the place. Number 5 is really the only cold destination that I have for you, and that is Buenos Aires in Argentina. I absolutely love Buenos Aires, and I think it's a great place to go in the winter time. Our summer is their winter because obviously they're in the Southern Hemisphere. And while it will take a little bit of time to get there, again, you don't have to worry about the jet lag because they're more or less on the same time zone as the US. It might be an hour or two after or before, depending on where you live in the States. But again, not having to deal with jet lag is a really big gift. And right now in Argentina, the winters are very mild. So think 40s, 50s, and 60s. So in the morning, the early hours, it might be in the high 40s, but during the course of the day, it will warm up to get into maybe the high 50s, low 60s. So you're dealing with very mild winters. In fact, last year they had on record a super mild winter where it went into the 80s. So you're not gonna be dealing with a terribly cold place. You will probably have to bring a light jacket. I would recommend a light jacket, dressing in layers with a sweater. That way you can peel things off. If you're really looking for a colder experience, that's the way to go. Buenos Aires, again, is a world-class city with world-class museums. Argentina as a whole is a very Eurocentric country. You will feel like you're in Europe when you're in Buenos Aires. It has a very Euro cosmopolitan vibe to it. Again, world-class museums, beautiful parks to go everywhere. You can walk, it's immensely walkable. It's very creative and design-oriented. So there's gonna be a lot of plays, a lot of operas, symphonies. If you're into musical festivals, there's probably some going on in the winter during there. And if you have time and you wanna get away for 2 or 3 days, you can also take a plane ride from Buenos Aires up to Iguazu to see Iguazu Falls. It's kind of like a little bit more of a tropical setting up in Iguazu. It's a little bit warmer, but if you feel like, maybe I want to mix a really nice cold destination like Buenos Aires, something a little bit warmer, Iguazu is the place to go. 2 or 3 days in Iguazu Falls will warm you up and you'll have a great time, and then you can go back down, get a little bit more chilled out in Buenos Aires, and then go back home and you're all set. All right, so those are 5 cold or cool summer trend destinations that I highly recommend if you're looking for a cool destination to go where the sun is not sweltering on you and you're not feeling like you're being roasted alive. Those 5 places are the ones that I recommend. Quebec City, Ghent in Belgium, The Hague in Netherlands, Mexico City, and Buenos Aires. If you have other comments or you have questions, leave some comments. I'll answer them. Safe travels.